Looking for a large private room for your next work function? Or maybe you need a place to bring the whole family for a delicious meal? Pomodoros of Mooresville has the perfect space for your crowd. Book your next event at pomodoros.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
And good morning, Lake Norman, Cornelius. This is Cornelius, Mayor Woody Washam here with you today, and we are about town. Wow, what a great program we're going to have today. You know, everybody likes parks and recreations in towns, counties, state, whatever you want to say. So it's an exciting topic, and this is the day that we're going to get into the weeds, if you will, and talk about all the great things going on. And before we get that far, I really want to remind everyone, you'll hear me say this a lot today, early voting starts today. Today. This is the 17th of October, and in my town, which is the town of Cornelius, you can go to Cornelius Town Hall from 8 o'clock this morning until 7 o'clock tonight, and you can vote. You can change your address. I think you can register actually, but give it a try. Go by and vote. I hear the turnout is pretty major so far. Yep. With lines around and so forth. But don't let it deter you. You've got to vote, folks. And one of the things that you'll be voting for from the town of Cornelius, if you're a resident of the town of Cornelius, would be the 2024 park bonds, a $20 million bond that will take us into the future. And we're going to get into the depths of that in this program today. And if you have any questions, concerns, or want to throw anything out to the experts I have here with me today, feel free to do that. I don't think you'll trip them up. I just really don't. I think they've got all your answers. I, as an elected official, am not here promoting the bonds. Neither is our staff person, Troy Fitzsimmons, who's director of our Parks and Rec. But we got a couple other people I think that could talk pretty positively about that. I don't think you'll have any problem knowing where I stand on the bond referendum that is on your ballot today. So let me tell you who's with me today. So first of all, I've already mentioned Troy Fitzsimmons, director of our park programming and our parks department at the town of Cornelius, a staff member for how many years, Troy?
16.
A long time employee.
Yes, sir.
Has a background in working with federal parks, with state parks, with county parks, you name it. A guy with a depth of experience that's doing a great job for us with the Cornelius Parks and Rec group and department. So we've grown quite a bit. I always tease Troy that when I was growing up in the town of Cornelius, we had two parks. The town, I don't think it actually owned either one of them. One of them was Legion Park, which is where all the baseball took place back in the day, and the little leagues and all that. And the other one was what is now Hoyt Wilhelm Park on the grounds of Cornelius Elementary. Back then, as I guess it's still the case at Cornelius Elementary, the CMS, the school system, owns that, but we have an arrangement with them to utilize those parks, and it is a great asset to actually the town in so many ways. At Legion Park, I think it was donated to the park somewhere, to the Parks Department in the town of Cornelius, somewhere along the way. We do now own Legion Park, but we hadn't always. So that's how far we've come. We've come from that point to a point that we own multiple parks in our town now. So
15 altogether.
15 parks, folks. Isn't that a surprise? It's just pretty incredible. So out of those parks, how many major parks do we have that you would consider?
Well, Mayor, I would say that we have Bailey Road Park, Westmoreland Athletic Complex, Robbins, Torrance Chapel Park, Smithville Park, and then you just referenced it, Cornelius Elementary School, which is James Hoyt Wilhelm. So all those have multiple facilities out there in terms of fields, courts, etc.
And we've got smaller parks, pocket parks, and different things all over this town.
Correct.
we have come so far, and I am really, really proud of that. Not to speak of our great greenway system. I mean, what a valuable asset and resource that is to our community. I'm so excited about that, and I know you are too. We're almost done with that, aren't we?
Well, we're almost done with the Emerald Necklace portion,
Yes.
which is 13 miles, a loop around town. We're 83%, if you want to get precise, complete.
Wow, I like precise.
with three major segments left.
That's awesome. That really is. So also with us today are two members of the Cornelius Park and Rec board. We have a formal board that helps guide our park activities and what goes on in our park department. Great folks. How many on that board?
9.
Nine people. 2 of them are with us today, and that would be Jana Ritter. Welcome, Jana.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So glad to have you. And I hear she's got a lot of radio experience, and so we're going to lean on her today. And my longtime friend, Robert Reed. So, Robert, welcome. Good to have all of y'all. And I think y'all are maybe 2 of the little bit newer members of the park board. How long have you been on there, Jana?
Let's see. I've been on about a year, a little over a
Great.
year.
Okay. How about you, Robert?
About 2.5.
Yeah, so you're an old timer.
Close to 2, yep.
That's great. That's great.
They're newer, but they're well seasoned.
Oh,
now.
I know they are, and I tell you what else, they work hard. When
They
you
do.
When you go out to these park events, you see them engaged and in action for sure. So anyway, you really lean on that park board, don't you, Troy?
Absolutely, because they are the sounding board from the community to the department and the town board. So yes, I rely on them a lot to give us input in terms of how the system's going to grow, what programs are we going to offer, what kind of partnerships are we going to entertain. So they play a very key role in the service delivery for Parks and Rec in town.
Well, that's awesome. And our newest park in town is got some things going on in it as well, doesn't it?
Yes, Kane Park.
There you go. Tell us what's happening over there.
So that opened in conjunction when the Kane Center opened about, what's that now, but almost 2 years?
2 years, a little less than 2 years.
Getting ready to go on 2 years in January, I
It
believe.
is.
So we are working with the Rotary Club. They have kindly raised funds to put in a musical playground. So back off of the plaza area at Kane Park, there's a brand new concrete pad poured, and we have 4 pieces of musical play equipment that are on order. It's supposed to be here in mid-November, and we will plan on getting that installed as soon as we can get our hands on it and get that open for the kids and adults to play on.
Exciting things going on. Absolutely. So we had another big event that you commissioners were at this week. So give us a quick rundown on that, Jen and Robert.
Yeah, so we just took part in the groundbreaking ceremony over at Bailey Road Park.
Yes.
Very exciting for our community, as we've heard that racket sports are increasingly popular in this community, both with tennis and pickleball. And we're excited that we just broke ground on a series of courts, both use case for, we have the tennis courts that are there now will become pickleball courts.
Yeah. And
then we will build additional tennis courts actually as well. So we'll get 6 lit tennis courts over there, which we're very excited about.
That is awesome. Well, we're going to have to go to a break here in just a second, but I want to talk more about Bailey Road Park because it is a truly evolving good news for our town. So we want to tell you what else is going on. So we'll be right back.
More About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam. Coming up on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, still a cool day of weather, but plenty of sunshine and less windy than our Wednesday. We climb into the low 60s for most of us this afternoon. Clear and cold again tonight as we drop into the upper 30s around the lake, and a few of the outlying spots and farms could even wake up to mid-30s and some patchy frost for Friday morning. A little bit better, too, a little more pleasant. Sunshine, mid-60s for our Friday. Back to the low 70s over the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Greystone Lodge in Boone.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Lost Worlds Brewing Company in Cornelius presents their Sunday Fun Day on October 20th. Fleetwood Mac tribute band The Chain and Untethered Soul with frontman Nick Prestia take the stage for a day of live music. Lost Worlds Brewing is ready to welcome a big crowd to their back parking lot with a concert stage and sound system from Waves Entertainment. Lost Worlds off West Catawba Avenue in Cornelius presents Sunday Fun Day with an outdoor concert on October 20th. Monthly trivia with the WSIC gang is back at Micaiah's in Mooresville on October 22nd. Join us at Micaiah's off exit 33 from I-77 for Halloween-themed trivia on Tuesday night, October 22nd at 8 p.m. Trivia winners will receive a family 4-pack of tickets to the Renaissance Festival. Have some October spooky season fun with WSIC on-air hosts and try to win Renfest tickets with Halloween trivia Tuesday, October 22nd at Micaiah's in Mooresville. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World of Outlaws World Finals on the 6th of November through the 9th. Catch Dirt Racing's top 3 series in a title-deciding 4-day showcase of on-track action, featuring the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, and the Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. Single-day and 4-day ticket packages and camping information are all available at charlottemotorspeedway.com. Often imitated, never duplicated. The World of Outlaws World Finals invade the Charlotte Motor Speedway Dirt Track on the 6th of November through the 9th. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
The Renaissance Festival is back, Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. Jousting nights, mermaids, fairies, dragons, oh my! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Don't miss it!
Call now to speak with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam at 844-STUDIO-4. It's About Town on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
And we're back. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam here. And, you know, we were just talking about some of the great things going on at Bailey Road Park. And I want to jump back even before this great event on Monday and talk about the Laketoberfest that occurred this past Saturday. I have never seen so many people, you know, out having fun, drinking a little bit of beer and just listening to great music and celebrating Oktoberfest at Laketoberfest. So quite a crowd, Troy.
It sure was. So we estimated about 9,000 people came through throughout the entire duration of the event from 4 to 9 p.m. As Mayor, you're aware, we work with Lake Norman Wildlife Conservationists to do our beer and wine sales. They didn't quite reach their number as of 2 years ago with their record sales. However, 2 years ago, they were also selling these neat Cletus cups, as they're called, massive cups with a marine cleat on it. They didn't have those this year because of plastic shortage issue.
Yes.
But their sales were only a couple $1,000s off. Had they have had the cups, they would have eclipsed it. So we felt really good with the event and the attendance. And, you know, the thing is that this thing started about 10 years ago. I remember the very first one. I was there. It was about 400 people.
Wow.
So now we have totally blown it up. It is a signature event in town, and people come out in droves and have fun, and we love to see that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And this was right on the heels in the middle of the summer of the Symphony in the Park.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, 9,500, 10,000 people out at that. So doing great things. But, you know, I want to check in with you, park commissioners, on one thing, because I saw you both out there and you were working the event that is promoting our bond referendum, which is on the ballot. I think I mentioned that earlier. It's on the ballot here in Cornelius this year. Pretty critical event, isn't it? So I'm going to throw it to either one of our commissioners that might want to jump in. Robert, why don't you start this one and tell us what that bond referendum is all about?
Yeah, so I guess the first thing I want to say is how important it has been this year in a major election, presidential election, where we get a volume of people that will go out to the polls. So the importance is the education of what this bond referendum is about. What's it even about? So what we're trying to do is be at everything we can go to, everywhere we can in town to get this message out. Regarding what this bond referendum is. And one of the ways I like to do is actually, when I'm talking with people, I like to ask them what their favorite things about Cornelius are.
Mm-hmm.
And it always comes back to our parks.
Sure.
And things that Parks and Rec are involved with.
Yeah.
Whether it's the greenways, actually disc golf is a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
The baseball parks with all the Little League baseball games, the soccer games. So these fields, the smaller parks that Troy was mentioning as well, some of these pockets, these areas, these are all the important pieces of Cornelius to our quality of life that we have here. And so that's all what this boils back down to, is it looks at now where we are today, and it says, in a number of years, here's where we want to be. And we want to stay on par along the way.
Sure.
And that's what this bond referendum is to help us do.
Exactly. I love the name of your campaign. How'd y'all come up with that? And tell us what it is.
I think when we were thinking about the park bond, one of the things that I think Cornelius Parks and Rec is really about is not speaking to the community, but really engaging with the community. And I think that's a really important difference for us as a park system. But we chose connecting our community because we feel that that's at the heart and soul of what we do at the Parks and Rec, be it the events that we throw like the Laketoberfest or some of the more family-friendly events that we do throughout the year, or just our parks. Our park system it's a place that people create memories. They kind of leave their legacy in Cornelius at our park system. And so we felt that connecting our community was really an important way to speak about that being the heart and soul. And I think we really like the words preserve, prosper, and play, because that's what this bond is all about. This bond really speaks to the systems being a way to preserve land, but also a way for us to kind of increase that play for families and children in the community to have recreational spaces to do so, and playgrounds and facilities. And also we want to prosper. We really want to kind of keep and maintain that high quality of life for our residents here.
And it's incredible, an investment in our parks. It permeates through many aspects of what we're all about here. We were just talking the other day about how important a good park setting system is to economic development. So, I mean, it covers so many aspects of not only quality of life, but providing jobs to people. It's hard for some folks to make that connection until you've lived it. But some of the top questions that folks ask when they're contemplating moving into our community, Troy, tell us what it is. I know schools is on that list.
Oh, schools is definitely on the list. But when you look at any corporations that relocate, like, I know that we don't have like a BMW or anything in town, but when those corporations look for places, oftentimes they're looking at the quality of life standards for their employees. And not only does it include schools, but also a safe community and parks and recreation facilities.
Right.
They want a solid parks and recreation program in town, because when folks aren't working, they're out having fun. They're out there with the kids and everything. And
Right.
They want that to be convenient, safe, and accessible.
Folks, call in and ask us a question if you have one. Any of you listeners out there, you can reach us at 1-844-STUDIO-4, 844-STUDIO-4. These guys are on top of their game today, and you'll get an answer. I am absolutely sure you'll get an answer. So on your ballot in the town of Cornelius, Parks and Rec bond, and that's exactly what we're talking about right now. So other aspects of our bond offering that will make a difference in our community. What it's all about. What are you going to buy with $20 million, guys?
Great question. And we have a plan on that. So I'll have to go back just a little bit, but back in March of 2024, we adopted a brand new comprehensive parks and greenways master plan. There was intensive community input to put that together. We went through various methods such as listening sessions, a scientific survey through UNCC. We also did a public survey. We talked with stakeholders, and we heard from hundreds and hundreds of people about what the needs are in the community. And so we took all that information and worked through the Parks and Recreation Commission to figure out, okay, what do we need to put to make us one of the best park systems in the country? Since Cornelius's vision is to have the highest quality of life, we felt the master plan, our master plan, had to also mirror that. So we set our standards to put us more towards the upper quartile in accordance with national benchmarks that we get through National Recreation and Parks Association. So the bottom line, we developed the plan. From that plan, then we worked to prioritize what we need to do with this $20 million park bond referendum. One of those top priorities is land acquisition. The bottom line, drive around town, you see dirt in areas. It's getting developed. It's going to continue to get developed. It's a growing suburban town from the Charlotte metro area. It's only natural that it's going to happen. Well, that land won't be there forever. So now's the time to acquire it if we want to provide not only for today, but for future generations. If not, we're not going to have the space in order to provide the recreational facilities needed for the community today, as well as the thousands more that will call Cornelius home in the future. So land acquisition is a big piece of the park bond referendum. Outside of that, there's some additional park improvements along the way in there. J.B. Washam Elementary School to get lights, a bathroom building, and synthetic turf field. Bailey Road Park Court Complex that we were just talking about to get a bathroom building and additional parking. We have additional greenway segments to help tie into our Emerald Necklace along McDowell Creek Greenway at the Westmoreland neighborhood, as well as Stratford Forest neighborhood. We also have a brand new recreation center at Cornelius Elementary School. As everybody knows, CMS passed a $1 billion bond last year. Part of that bond is to redevelop Cornelius Elementary School. It is a golden opportunity for us to develop a recreation center in conjunction with CMS, because to build a standalone building would cost us 2 to 3 times more than partnering with CMS on that. And our other 2 rec centers are in partnership with CMS at Bailey Middle School, as well as J.B. Washam Elementary School. So there's a lot of projects on the books that we hope to accomplish, but we hope to accomplish more with that. Back in 2013, that park bond referendum, for every $1 in town funding, we were able to leverage that and get $1.25 in grant or partnership funding. So we're hopeful that we can do a bit more with this, again, to achieve that master plan goal in the future.
It's like an investment almost. It really is so many ways. You're investing in your youth. You're investing in resources that you couldn't otherwise have, because you know, the price of land isn't going down in the town of Cornelius. So anyhow, a lot more to talk about relating to the Cornelius Parks and Rec. This is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we will be right back.
There's more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on the way from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, still a cool day of weather, but plenty of sunshine and less windy than our Wednesday. We climb into the low 60s for most of us this afternoon. Clear and cold again tonight as we drop into the upper 30s around the lake, and a few of the outlying spots and farms could even wake up to mid-30s and some patchy frost for Friday morning. A little bit better, too, a little more pleasant. Sunshine, mid-60s for our Friday. Back to the low 70s over the weekend. That's your forecast for the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Are you concerned about losing your house if you go into a nursing home? Contact Crosswhite Law to learn about protecting your home. Crosswhite Law is here to protect you. Call 704-873-7233. CrosswhiteLaw.com.
Legendary music icon Jim Messina from Loggins and Messina, Poco, and Buffalo Springfield is playing live on Thursday, October 17th at 7 p.m. at Cain Center for the Arts. Learn more at cainarts.org. That's CAIN arts.org.
Folks, here at Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, we have got the brand new 2025 Chevrolet Traverse in stock, all redesigned from front to back, top to bottom, inside and out. Come see them today. We have got a great selection of these new Traverses ready for you to take home. And also, we got great discounts on our Silverado trucks. We got the regular cab, crew cab, double cabs, discounted up to $9,000 off. Great selection, Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, right on I-40.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
The Statesville Family YMCA reminds you that older adults and those with chronic health conditions don't need to feel they must accept impaired balance and limited mobility. Build strength, improve balance, and gain confidence in your mobility through the Moving for Better Balance program. For questions and additional information, email C. Mullins at ymcanwnc.org.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Applications for jobless claims fell by 19,000 to 241,000 for the week of October 12th. A Bloomberg survey of economists was expecting that number to be 259,000. Meta Platforms, the parent of Facebook and Instagram, has had a round of layoffs. The company did not specify how many employees were let go, but said that some roles were eliminated as teams were reorganized and that some workers were moved to different jobs. New Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol had asked for input from the coffee giant's employees in a previously undisclosed internal survey. One of the biggest complaints from workers was understaffing. Only a third of employees said they felt that stores were adequately staffed. Starbucks workers said the understaffing led to backlogs at stores. Walmart says its Thanksgiving meal, consisting of 29 items, can feed 8 people for less than $7 per person. This comes on the heels of Aldi announcing yesterday that a cart full of holiday foods at their stores for a party of 10 people would cost under $47. Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Radio.
About Town continues now. Here's your host, Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Good morning again, Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam. And we are about town today talking about a really, really critically important topic in relation to our town that everybody in this room is working diligently to make sure our citizens are informed about. And that is a park bond referendum that will appear on your Cornelius ballot, only Cornelius ballot, right now. Early voting has begun. It's going on as we speak here in this region at not only the Cornelius Town Hall, but at the Huntersville Regional Library at exit 25. And I think it's going on at the Davidson Town Hall too, but I'm not positive about that. So
I'm not certain either about Davidson Town
but
Hall.
we're worried about, we're worried about Cornelius. And but you can vote at any of these early voting precincts in Mecklenburg County. It has to be in Mecklenburg County, but you can vote. And we want you to vote, please, I understand the turnout is quite brisk today, but don't let that deter you. Get on out and cast those votes, and let's make this happen, folks. It is not a better thing, I don't think, you can do to support the quality of life in your town, my hometown, but your town, any better than support the Cornelius Parks Department. So with that, we were talking about some of the great things that the bond referendum is going to provide for our community, and I think that's important to dwell on that just a little bit. And you know, we also mentioned this great groundbreaking that we had out at Bailey Road Park this past Monday, a long-awaited event where you know, we have had a lot of inquiries about adding courts to our actually, we're talking about tennis courts and pickleball courts to our system. And yes, it is needed. Both of those aspects are needed here in our town. And what that produces for our town is multifaceted. It's not only that it serves our citizens, but it brings in economic development opportunities with travel and tourism. And that is a hot topic now, isn't it, guys? I mean, I think what that contributes to our town is a little bit hard to get your arms around, but we know it's contributing.
Absolutely. So we do have a tournament facility already at Westmoreland Athletic Complex, which is baseball and softball, 4 fields right off of Westmoreland Road. Every weekend from March until almost Thanksgiving, we have a tournament out there. We do take a 2 or 3 week break in the heat of summer because the kids are fried at that point in time. And also we need to get in to do some maintenance on the fields at that point as well. But you drive out there on a Saturday and that place is absolutely packed. And then if you try to go eat at any restaurant nearby, you're probably going to see a lot of baseball and softball uniforms running around the restaurants and through there. So definitely a big impact for the town in terms of folks coming in and spending some dollars at some of our local establishments out there. But Bailey Road Park represents another opportunity for us because with 10 pickleball courts all in one bank, 6 new lighted tennis courts with the possibility of another 6 in the near future, that really opens the door for some additional tournament opportunities. Lake Norman Tennis Association already puts on the adults, the 18 and over state tournament. And Jana, can you give a little more detail on that, what it provides for the community and how Bailey can help?
Sure. So with the state tournament that is in the Lake Norman area, well, first off, tennis players love to come to this area. It's a beautiful area for them to come in and visit from out of town, stay on the lake. A lot of them like to stay on the lake and you know, participate in activities we have here, but also visit other parks. What the facility would offer for us at Bailey Road with the 6 additional courts that we get, if we get it, would offer a chance for us to host the majority of a large tournament like those state tournaments at Bailey Road. Right now, when the 18 and up tournament comes to town, we host it at about 6 to 7 different sites. And we've got players kind of going all over town, be it Mooresville, Cornelius, or Huntersville as well. But Bailey Road would really become a host site and a facility that we could host that tournament, but also just recreational tournaments and junior and adult tournaments throughout the year as well. Just like with baseball and softball, I foresee lots of tournament opportunities. And the nice thing about these sports with pickleball and tennis is it's multi-generational. So we're talking about kids, junior tournaments coming in, but also a plethora of tournaments throughout the year. I think that adults could participate here. And the more people we have coming in to play on those courts, of course, the more dollars that are being spent in our beautiful community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that just is a injection of dollars to our community, not only in our hotels and motels, but in our restaurants and our other amenities, so many amenities that we have here. So you guys, what I think makes you so unique on our park board is you have families that are really plugged in to what goes on in our parks. So is that true for both of you? I know it is.
Absolutely.
It is. Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like I live at our parks.
There you go.
It's not a bad thing. So, I really want to also mention something. Troy and Jana have both mentioned the volume of courts, be it pickleball, tennis. I want to comment on what we're doing is really hearing what our community is looking for. They're not built tomorrow. They are built in the future. And if we're looking at the future, this park bonds is the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so really taking a look at it, and I'll put the plug in because it's CorneliusParkBonds.com.
Good point.
Anybody that wants to go and check this out and get all the information that we're talking about today, and way more information on what it is, what we're trying to accomplish, and other real in-depth detail on these bonds. Again, it's CorneliusParkBonds.com. So it's extremely important that we take a look at this as citizens that we live in this town for what our future is going to look like. As in 10 years, I'll be a different age and I'll be doing different things. My kids will be different and doing different things. So you have to look at those aspects of what quality of life we want to live, and these things are what we hear through our sessions when we've met with the public. Through the different avenues that we've approached, via phone calls or in-person sessions. We're really taking the information that we've gathered, put it into this master plan, and we're looking into the future. And some of it's right here today.
Mm-hmm.
With this new groundbreaking, it's right here today. But it's moving forward into the future and what we're trying to accomplish for everybody in this community.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a real strong look at what we've got going on.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the way it ought to be, and it really does. When you go through an exercise like this, you need to justify the fact that 20 million is 20 million, could be 20 million in debt for our town, which is serious business to me as mayor, and it is to our commissioners as well. So, but goodness, look at the payback. Look at the investment it's making. Mm-hmm. There's just no comparison of what else you could spend except transportation. Mm-hmm. Now, this is not in place of or in lieu of our massive efforts to improve our transportation program, because that is crucial. We're committed to it. It's our number one priority. Parks is right behind it, but it's up there in as far as the priority of our citizens is concerned. But please, folks, know that this is not in the place of. This is in addition to everything we've got going on with our transportation needs here in this community. With 4 transportation projects underway, contracts in place, it's begun. It really has begun. So we're serious, more than serious about that. So here's a question coming in from a caller. I'm going to let you respond to this, Troy. It's a great question. Does the bond include security guards at our parks? It's a big topic for you guys, I know.
Security definitely is an issue for us all the time. So to answer that question, it does not include security guards at all. The reason why is the parks bond is strictly for capital. However, whenever we improve facilities, develop facilities, there's always an operational impact with it. Well, we have been working on getting cameras into our parks over the past several years. As a matter of fact, with the tennis court complex, we'll be adding more cameras out at Bailey Road Park. Those are tied in directly to Cornelius Police Department. So they're monitored at the 911
That's
center
awesome.
to
You
watch
can't
that.
really have enough security. Mm-hmm. We'll let you talk about that just a little bit more when we get back. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we'll be right back.
We'll be back with more of About Town, hosted by Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam. Straight ahead on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, still a cool day of weather, but plenty of sunshine and less windy than our Wednesday. We climb into the low 60s for most of us this afternoon. Clear and cold again tonight as we drop into the upper 30s around the lake, and a few of the outlying spots and farms could even wake up to mid-30s and some patchy frost for Friday morning. little bit better, too, a little more pleasant. Sunshine, mid-60s for our Friday. Back to the low 70s over the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Lost Worlds Brewing Company in Cornelius presents their Sunday Fun Day on October 20th. Fleetwood Mac tribute band The Chain and Untethered Soul with frontman Nick Prestia take the stage for a day of live music. Lost Worlds Brewing is ready to welcome a big crowd to their back parking lot with a concert stage and sound system from Waves Entertainment. Lost Worlds off West Catawba Avenue in Cornelius presents Sunday Fun Day with an outdoor concert on October 20th. Monthly trivia with the WSIC gang is back at Micaiah's in Mooresville on October 22nd. Join us at Micaiah's off exit 33 from I-77 for Halloween-themed trivia on Tuesday night, October 22nd at 8 p.m. Trivia winners will receive a family 4-pack of tickets to the Renaissance Festival. Have some October spooky season fun with WSIC on-air hosts and try to win Renfest tickets with Halloween trivia Tuesday, October 22nd at Micaiah's in Mooresville. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World of Outlaws World Finals on the 6th of November through the 9th. Catch Dirt Racing's top 3 series in a title-deciding 4-day showcase of on-track action, featuring the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, and the Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. Single-day and 4-day ticket packages and camping information are all available at charlottemotorspeedway.com. Often imitated, never duplicated. The World of Outlaws World Finals invade the Charlotte Motor Speedway Dirt Track on the 6th of November through the 9th. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. Justing knights, mermaids, fairies, dragons, oh my! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Don't miss it!
It's About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Ooh, everybody, we are returning. We've got a little shift in the program today. It's just now going to be myself, Robert Reed, and Troy Fitzsimmons here to finish out the segment here today with a few more, maybe some questions from our send-ins, our callers. Troy, I'm going to kind of bring it back to what we were just talking about for a minute. We had a question about, really it was a security question regarding what could be done with the parks and bonds, but it really comes down to what the bond package would include, that sort of thing. So you were kind of giving an answer towards that.
Yeah, so we had to go to commercial break, and I had mentioned about security cameras in the parks, but also in terms of within our parks and patrolling parks. So we have a wonderful park maintenance team. We do not have park rangers, but our park maintenance team are our eyes and ears out there in the park. So when they see something wrong, they make a call to our Cornelius Police Department. Also, we have citizens who they take ownership of the park, in essence. They have no problem making a call to Cornelius PD if something is amiss out there. On our greenways, we have an operational agreement with Mecklenburg County Parks and Recreation. So not only are we out there and our PD patrolling from time to time, but also Mecklenburg County sends out their park watch coordinators to monitor the parks as well. So overall, we have a pretty safe park system. I'm not going to sit here and say that nothing ever happens at all, but it is one of the safer park systems that I've seen based on what's gone on out there. But here's the deal. If anybody's out there and if something looks amiss, please call us. Call 911. If it's urgent, someone will respond to address the issue. We definitely want folks to feel welcomed and safe when they come into our parks.
Yeah, it's a good point. I know I can speak, just to myself as living in the town here with my kids going out. I know they're running around on the greenways, and I don't want to take it for granted ever, but I do feel confident with them being able to run between neighborhoods. It's fantastic, getting to experience everything that they offer. I also want to mention the idea of passive versus active parks. We had on off air a second ago. We had just had a general conversation Jana had brought up, and how about talking a minute to those that may not need that square space field, that rectangle soccer field or the baseball diamond.
Yep.
How about the passive that we have here in town?
Yeah, so active and passive recreation are two separate things. Sometimes they can intermix a bit, but in general, when you think of active recreation, you're thinking of like fields and courts, a soccer game going, a baseball game, playing tennis, things like that. Passive recreation is more self-directed type stuff, communing with nature. So think of hiking trails, picnicking, putting your kid on a playground, things like that. What our master plan told us this past year is that Cornelius citizens want both. They don't want one or the other. It was pretty much dead down the middle that they want both active and passive recreation out there. As a matter of fact, when we did our scientific survey, wildlife watching was the number one priority based on that survey. So that tells us that folks want to see open space preserved and they want to be able to enjoy nature out there. The number two priority was water access, but it wasn't motorized. It was human powered. So think canoes and kayaks. That's a more passive pursuit because, again, it's more self-directed on that. So it was great to see that. That was different from back in 2015 with the previous master plan. Definitely a shift more toward passive versus active. And that's what this bond accomplishes. We're providing a blend. So when we go and acquire land, the idea is to try to potentially make another Robbins Park. Robbins Park is 100 acres. 50 acres of it would be more toward the active recreation. The other 50 is more towards passive, preserved woodlands and trail system throughout in there. So we're excited if the bond passes to get going on it and meet those needs for the citizens.
That's awesome. I know I'm excited about it. We've got it again. I'm going to mention it. It's CorneliusParkBonds.com, where you can get more information about this. You can actually see projects underway right now, and then we've also got projected future projects. And to what Troy was just talking about, projected future sites of projects where we've identified that are potentials for our future, which I had alluded to a little while ago as well. So we've got a big thing happening here on this ballot, this ballot coming up, and it's the early voting is right now. There'll be a number of people at the polls, the early polls. If you're looking for the information on it, we'll also be out there. I know there'll be a number of park commissioners out there. There'll be some other folks out there volunteering. We're all volunteering our time to help and explain a little more what is going on with this bond, what we're trying to accomplish. Again, it comes back to the master community plan for Parks and Rec community plan. This is gauged on information we've gathered nationally. Isn't that right?
That's right. We turn in every year our data to National Recreation Park Association, and then in turn, we get a performance study done, and it compares us to everybody else across the country. But it's not like us against Mecklenburg County Parks and Rec or Raleigh Parks and Rec or Houston Parks and Rec. It compares us to our peers, so towns between the size of 20 to 50,000 population, so it's representative. So the data is pretty tight. It's not skewed one way or the other. So we do well. We're probably a little bit above average, but just a little bit. And the goal of the plan is to make sure that Cornelius is firmly planted into the upper quartile to assure the highest quality of life for its citizens.
That's right, as would be our vision for the town.
Yep.
I want to mention real quick our partnerships. I've been asked before, well, aren't we in Mecklenburg County? Yeah, can't they just take on all these projects? And I want to mention that, Troy, with the partnerships that Troy's worked on, Troy, the town staff, we have outstanding partnerships with our regional towns and Mecklenburg County. It's fantastic. And so much so that, yes, we do have these partnerships, and they do help out with being able to fund these projects and complete them and get them off the ground. But it also looks more appealing to these projects when we can contribute as much as we can contribute to these towns. And grants would be a part of it as well. The more that we can come up with for our own town, the better off we look for these projects when we're going out to partner with these towns in the county and even apply for these grants. Is there anything you want to speak to on that topic?
Yeah, so we don't fund everything 100%, hardly ever. We always look for partnerships and grants. So just a couple of ideas of what we do. So right now, we're registering for our youth basketball program. We do that in conjunction with the town of Davidson because they have access to gyms that we need, in essence, to put the program on. And they share in the costs, they share in the revenue as well on that. So it's a great relationship with the town of Davidson. Additionally, we work with Mecklenburg County Parks and Rec. A lot of the greenways that we see out there outside of the operations and maintenance of those greenways, which Mecklenburg County does all of it for us, but also they helped get some of our greenways built. We did go in with some skin in the game to say, hey, we have this project here. We know it's on your master plan as well. We're willing to contribute. Can you help us get over the hump and get this segment of greenway built? So when you look at Plum Creek Greenway directly across from the student parking lot at Huff High that goes on into Davidson, we paid for the design. The county built it.
Okay. That's fantastic. And, again, just to mention, we want to look good as best we can when we go out to ask for these partnerships on different projects that we're trying to complete. Large projects that, if you look at Westmoreland Athletic Complex along with Robbins Park, you look at the acreage that it takes right there. Well, just commenting that, on it, what's left in our 15 square miles of Cornelius. You want to comment on that real quick?
Yeah. So what's left for land acquisition within Cornelius? Everything is east of 115. When you look at an aerial map and see how tight the boundary lines and how many rooftops there are and everything, there isn't anything 100 acres or more west of 115. So the only logical place to go is east of 115, where there are some large tracts that we hope to be able to preserve as open space for parkland with this bond, should it pass.
Opportunity for the active and the passive park, opportunities for both.
Right. And the other thing to keep in mind too, it depends on what we acquire, right? If we end up acquiring something that's got quite a bit of topography on it, mature forests, creeks, wetlands, and things like that, obviously the focus is going to be more passive recreation. So think trails and picnic areas and things like that, wildlife watching opportunities. If it's flatter and open, then that'll lend itself well towards the active component, so fields and courts.
Excellent. Well, Troy, this has been quite an awesome event here today, being able to share the mic a little bit. I appreciate Mayor Washam being on here with us, and Jana, thanks for her time as well. We want to thank you, everybody that was able to tune in today. Appreciate you being with us.
Our pleasure.
Serving you better than ever before.